Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net. Mr. Zettler, during the break, we were talking about the incestuous relationship between the teachers' unions and politicians and lobbying. What is all that about, and how fair is that?
Well, that's all about what we talked about before, the huge amount of money that comes from teachers' dues. Teachers give $130 million a year to the IEA and the IFT. They use this money mainly for political purposes. The Supreme Court of the United States says they use 80% of that for political purposes. That's $100 million a year.
Don't teachers also get furlough days to go ahead and do political work?
Yes, they get furlough days. Well, most teachers' contracts, especially here in the six-county area, have all kinds of days off. They can take personal days. They get sick days they could use. They got all kinds of ways they can use. Yeah, sure.
Now, how fair is that if I'm working as a public sector employee and then I'm going ahead and picking who's going to make my laws for me? There's something not right and not fair to the average taxpayer in that.
What you're picking is your employer. You're picking the employer. Your employer is really the taxpayer, but that's not who you go to. You go to the politician, the intermediary, and you give the money to the politician. We should be making the decisions. One way to do that is there are several things we could do. We could eliminate or extend tenure, so that would give the teachers less power. We can go after the 80%. We could let teachers know that they can get that 80% of their dues back.
How many of them do you think will be able to do that, though? Because once you go against the unions, all of a sudden you've got that scarlet letter on your back.
Absolutely, and you have tremendous peer pressure, so it's going to be a big job. But that's part of our education process, to tell them these pensions aren't going to be there, and you need to understand that. The other thing is to open contract negotiations to the public. Why isn't the public, the taxpayer, the one who's paying the bill, why aren't they involved in the contract negotiations?
They're not allowed? Public is the payer?
No, that's always behind doors.
There. It's illegal to be involved.
Why?
They have passed a law that you cannot interfere in those deliberations. Listen,
the people that are paying the freight can't go see what they're paying for?
They can't even. They cannot sit in on the deliberations. It's illegal.
That should be a new law.
Not even the superintendent is there. Your superintendent is just a stuffed shirt because he doesn't have a sales department. And when it comes to his employees, the salaries and the contract are negotiated between the union and the school board, which the union elected last time around.
Okay, guess what? The school board elections are coming this, I think, February. People, step up and go to your school board meetings and get a consensus and start running for school board. These are your tax dollars.
And remember, everything we're talking about here is not guaranteed by the Constitution. These are things that could be done. The tenure law, that's a law passed by the legislature. That can be modified. Okay, this law that Jack's talking about, that the public can't be involved in contract negotiations, that can be negated. These are things that we can do.
Do the taxpayers know this?
No, they're busy making a living and taking care of their kids.
The tenure law is so screwy.
Right.
There's only, in the whole state of Illinois, with 860 different school districts, every year there's maybe 6 or 7 teachers that are eliminated, fired. Only 6 or 7 out of the whole bloody state.
It's because they're so good, right?
No, it isn't. It's because of stinking law, and the teachers themselves would be glad to be rid of it because they circulate the bad teachers around in the different schools in the district.
A good teacher should want to get rid of tenure.
So the regular teachers that are doing a worthwhile job have to put up with the results of being accompanied by dolts.
All right, I got to jump in here because I want to share what I see and then ask for a solution. I see the teachers' union at every turn has done everything they could to silence, to remove the taxpayer from the debate entirely.
Absolutely.
They've taken over the school boards.
Yep.
They send their teachers with furlough days out to campaign for politicians that are in their pockets. They line the campaign war chests of these politicians with cash. So the politicians aren't being represented, or the taxpayers aren't being represented in the Springfield. Right. The taxpayers and the community is not being represented in the school board.
No.
How can we overcome this?
Awaken. Wake people up.
Well, we're doing our best to, with the Champion News thing and with the Republican Renaissance PAC. We're doing what we can politically. But the teachers union has all the money in the world to do this thing, and thank God for the Tea Party that's doing a good ground game. And I think we're working hard to get 6 more elected to the House and 6 more to the Senate downstate, and we'll get the political power to get rid of these rascals.
We need to change policy right away.
Get rid of Madigan.
Well, now you have 20 ways to cut pension costs. Eliminate the 3% COLA, saves about 25%. Employee contribute as much as Ohio teachers, 14% costs. Have you presented this 20 points to any of the elected officials?
No, you're first. You're first.
Oh, wow. Yeah, but I can't make any changes. I'm just a voice.
Well,
I don't have a vote down there.
Well, this, again, is part of an educational process. How many people know these
You're running
things?
a program reaching a lot of people
No,
that need this information.
That need to reach out to their lawmakers.
And you end up with this constant argument between what's legal, and the constitutional guarantee is used a lot of time as an argument to stop things that aren't guaranteed. For example, public involved in contract negotiations. That's not guaranteed in the Constitution. Tenure is not guaranteed in the Constitution. Education tax credits are not guaranteed in the Constitution. Why don't we have those? Get a little competition out there.
Well, competition is a good thing.
How many $203,000 teachers are there in the Lutheran or Catholic schools?
0.
Exactly.
Now, I have a question for you.
They
Is this
typically
20
make
points
less than
in the
half
book?
as much.
Yeah, but not necessarily in that order. What I would do, if you get the book, go to the introduction, and in the introduction I have the 10 chapters that I think you should read first.